For first-time university students heading to class this week, their application process began months ago.
Yeah, but tonight we uncover actions of a state board member who became quite involved in one student's application. Text messages from a powerful board member of the LSU Board of Supervisors reveal he might be using that power inappropriately.
I don't think any one person should exert additional power or control over something because of an appointed position.
Lisa Hawthorne runs LSU Eunice School of Nursing. She knows this interview could impact her job. Is there any part of you worried that speaking out and pushing back could cost you at all?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But Hawthorne says she feels strongly about it enough to speak out.
We need to do things right and ethically, especially when it comes to nursing.
Hawthorne says LSU board member Lee Mallett pressured her boss to accept a student into the nursing school. Do you feel like your school's being forced to admit this student?
I think we've had 2 attempts now to definitely ensure that happens.
And what was the push?
To get the student admitted.
So what did Mr. Mallett do?
You know, again, so initially there was a lot of conversation. Again, the chancellor is the one who has definitely taken the brunt of that. Multiple phone calls, and then that has then been pushed forward to us in that, you know, we need to look at the student. Why are we not accepting more? Different things like that.
An email from April 27th shows LSU Eunice Chancellor Nancy Sorensen inquiring to Hawthorne about an applicant for the nursing school, writing she only needs information about her status in the process. On May 13th, this student received a letter alerting her she wasn't selected for admission. The next day, LSU Eunice Chancellor Nancy Sorensen sent Mallett a text message, writing, "Working on the situation." Mallett's reply, "Thank you, very important and need answer today." Later that day, the chancellor texts Mallett, spoke with the student, meeting with her personally next week, and we will get this done. I did not guarantee fall admission, but we should be able to guarantee spring. On May 18th, Mallett texted, "I need to see you Monday in Eunice. Need time." Later that day, Sorensen responded, "I absolutely appreciate your position and know you are fulfilling your responsibilities at every level, as am I."
But it is really not the job of a Board of Supervisors member to take part in the review of applications of any university. They're not part of the admissions process at all, and any attempt to influence the admissions process would be considered unethical.
Dillard political scientist Robert Collins has been a university administrator. He says board members may write letters of recommendation, but getting further involved in the process is wrong. If this board member is pressuring the university to accept a student, in your mind, it could be potentially improper, unethical?
It would be unethical. It would be improper. It would be outside of the normal rules of behavior that members of university boards of supervisors are trained to follow.
Mallett declined our request for an interview. He told us by email, "Your allegations appear to be from a disgruntled employee, and those allegations are incorrect." Mallett told us the reason for his involvement was to attempt to correct what I think was a potential error regarding admission. The student received a letter confirming she met minimum admission requirements. Mallett sent us a letter with the student's name on it. We're choosing to blur it. The letter says she met the minimum admission requirements, but added you were not selected for admission at this time. You've worked in universities a long time. Just because you meet minimum admission requirements doesn't mean you're going to be admitted.
No, that doesn't mean anything because every university has a minimum number of seats in each incoming class that they can admit because of their resources. So just because you meet the minimum requirements doesn't mean that you will be admitted. It just means that you will be considered for admission.
At LSU Eunice, 132 applicants met minimum requirements, but the school had space to accept 60. But Mallett interpreted this letter differently, telling us in this instance the letter was very troubling. The letter stated that the applicant met all minimum entrance requirements, but then was not accepted.
If there are 50 seats available, and if all of the applications are ranked, and if you are 55 or 60, even if your application is great, you're not going to get in, because what that means is that there were 54 students better than you. So so that's not relevant. It's not whether or not you meet the minimum requirements. It's where do you rank amongst all the applicants that attempted to get into the school.
And a board member should know that.
And a board member would certainly know that.
Hawthorne says after she wouldn't accept the student, Mallett then pushed LSU Eunice to expand its nursing school. She says his request to add 20 spots.
And you believe the push for the fall expansion was to get the student in?
That is my belief. It would have definitely done that.
Would accepting 15 include this person?
No. No.
So the number 20 is for a reason, you think? Like, who picked number 20?
Yeah, possibly.
Mallett doesn't dispute he's looking to expand the number of admissions and says the increased need of nurses is the reason why. The head of the nursing school said it takes years to add more students because the school needs proper approval, then staffing. You're probably asking what's the connection between Mallett and the student. Mallett says, I do not know or have any personal connection to the student. The student's father is in the electrical business, and Mallett owns a construction company, though we haven't found any link between the two. Regardless, the communications between a board member and chancellor left this nursing school head uncomfortable and outraged.
I don't think people in positions of appointed positions or positions of power should abuse that. That's a privilege. It's not a privilege to force others to do things you prefer to do, whatever that reason may be.
LSU Eunice Chancellor Dr. Nancy Sorensen did not respond to our request for comment on this story. Lee Mallett was reappointed to the LSU board by Governor Edwards. His term runs until June of 2024.